Hey guys, it's Thursday now, so uh, week's moving on. Anyway, I'm down here at the shop again, building the circuit. Got a fuse block mounted. I'll show you some of that here in a bit. I've got the wires run from both ends. I haven't terminated in yet, so I was kind of building up my how I was going to wire the switches and whatnot. As you see, it's still there. It's still stuck. I'm not even going to mess with it. But anyway, I've received a little criticism, a lot of it from my wife, that when I did, it's all constructive. She's really pretty good about it. But yesterday when I was talking about the little clips, I never really showed them properly. People couldn't see what I was doing with them. So I've got a selection out here on the table. I was going to show you this little switch panel. It's not a panel, the 3 switches I'm installing back in the dash. One's going to do the light bar, one's going to do the big backup light, and the third one is going to be, I'm going to take the power for the front locker off of the ignition circuit. I'm going to fuse it, a little 5-amp fuse, and I'm going to run that up through a toggle switch, which will be like an arm, and so you'll have to arm it and then use the momentary switch for engagement and disengagement. I think that's a good compromise. I just like I don't want you to hit, I don't want like hit a bump wide open on the road and engage that front locker at speed. It might handle it, it might not, I don't know, but I'd like there to be like a positive on it, like a two sequence, so there's no accidental engagement. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And that's kind of what I built here. But first off, I got some specs on those. People are asking what they were good for and whatnot, like amp-wise. They're rated for 32 amps and anywhere from 28 to 12 gauge wire. So pretty broad spectrum. Handles pretty much any single accessory. You're not going to be pulling over 32 amps through 12 gauge wire anyway. So it'll handle about anything you want to put into it, pretty much. If it fits, it should work to that extent, fits safely. So I'll show you here. Actually, I'm just going to pick the camera up. It may be easier. So hold on. So right here is, so you got 2 in and then 4 out. So you see how the oranges lines up and all the blues line up. And if we look at this, you just pop them open and there's like a little jaw in there. I don't think we're going to be able to see that on the camera, but when you put the wire in, oh, I didn't plan for that. Here we go. I can show you on this one here. It's a little 1-into-1, not to confuse matters, but you can see here I have it in there. I was able to pull that one out, pulled on it pretty good. So let me see, crimp that back, we'll give that another go. These are a different brand than what I've used in the past, so we'll see how this goes. But here we go. So I got that spun back, and you just take and shove it in, and you clip it down, and there we go. Yeah, I just didn't have a good bite. So I always pull on them before I walk away. I literally just built this before I turned the camera on. So what's cool about these is they manifold together, which I thought was pretty cool. And so they actually slide together. So you can build you a whole little, almost like a rail, right? So if you ever do any industrial, like switchgear, stuff like that, you could have like a full rail of these. And they kind of have an indent. They'll fit around tube nice. You can zip tie them over or something. So that's that. And they pop up. And then you've got like your 2-into-1, 1 in, 1 out, positive and negative run through. You've got bigger ones here, like if you were splitting up multiple lights off a single circuit, like the blinkers on Salmon Mog, for instance, are multiple individual lights that flash in sequence. I could use something like this to wire in multiple off the same power source. Then I've got like the common side-by-side. These are just common. It's pretty much the same concept as one of these, except they're side-by-side. So that might work better. And this one here would be a 1 in, 2 out, everything common. So that's a bad blinker relay. Just figure I'll share everything. Anyway, these here, this is my 3 toggle switches. As you can see here, I've got a zip tie with an eyelet so I can attach this up. And I've built my manifold here. So basically, I just tested all this out, ohmed all of it out. But my backup light will come out of this middle, out of the blue here, and go back to the light. And my light bar will come out of here. And then I'm going to go terminate these over onto my little fuse block. And if you notice here on this one here with the red and the black wire, this is a screw terminal. The screws are tight. I just like these sealed ones better. So this is going to be my little 5 amp supply. And basically what I'm doing with it is this comes off out of the output of that switch. It's going to daisy chain over to that momentary switch to supply power to it. So that's really all I've got going on here. Like I said, I tested everything out with the voltmeter. All my switches function properly. And like I said, hope this clears up anything if anybody didn't get to see what I was doing yesterday, if anyone was actually interested. So, anyway, I guess that's it, guys. But this is what I'm working on, and I'll catch back up with you in just a minute when I go to get a few more of these wires ran and get my fuses installed, and then we'll see how this all works. So, catch you in a minute. Hey, guys. Look. We're done with wiring for now, so I got a little bit of touch up on Saturday like we talked about. We're getting ready to do a little walk around tour of what we got going on here. But I got this little matter hammer. Anyway, I got to put my aluminum up here so I can cut it. So we're going to have to do something about that. So look, I'm going to go ahead and I guess we're just cutting the edge of the table off. Let me get the air run out here. Hold on. Get all this rigged up here. Whoa. Anyway, get my gloves. And got everything knotted up. Typical welding cart. Everything's in the wrong spot. But yeah, we'll just clamp on the table here. I can't clamp there. That piece is going to fall. Grab it there. Oh. See. Alright, well, I wish there was another way, but I just ain't seeing it, so. Oh! Hey!
What are you doing?
Kid, I got this hammer sitting here. It says Thor on it. I can't pick it up. I guess I'm not worthy. I don't know where it came from, but I need this table cleared off to put the aluminum on.
Are you gonna cut it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut the. Just gonna arc and cut the table.
I like this table.
I love this table, dude. It's a great table. Lifts and pivots, got my vise, sheet metal brake, everything goes on here.
Did you ever try this?
Did you leave that over here?
Might have.
Dude, I can't even pick it up.
Well, I'll leave it over here.
Well, careful. I guess it's not that heavy. I guess Koo is worthy. Man. Well, thanks, Koo. You saved me a lot of headache because I didn't really want to do this. But I guess I don't have to now.
Yeah, it'll be over there.
Alright, well, let me get this all wrapped up, and we'll give you a little tour of what we got done on the wire. And Koo, thanks for stopping in, man. I'm going to need your help getting that aluminum up here. Hey, guys, let's go ahead and do this walk around real quick before we get messing with this aluminum. I got to move a bunch of stuff in the shop. I got to put the bender back. The cherry picker goes behind the salmon mog, but that ain't happening right now. But I got to move this basket. I got a lot of stuff to move around so we get this aluminum out and about. But if you notice, the front end's up in the air. Anyway, I'll show you why here in just a second. But come walk with me over here, Koo. We'll show the little bit of wiring we got done. Hold on. There we go. All right. So back in here, we reuse these switches. Of course, I mounted them all upside down. I tried swapping the wires, everything, and I don't know if I just wasn't getting it or what, but I ended up having to flip all the switches. So if you look up in here, I guess I can put that cover back on, but way up in there, there's a plate. A plate will cover all this. But back in here, you can see I mounted the fuse panel. Hot wires taped off there, routed safe. I didn't realize when I bought it at AutoZone the other day, this one is a mini fuse panel. So I've got two different size fuse panels, which is always good practice. Anyway, we'll deal with that at a later date. But if you notice, there's no more wiring hanging in the floorboard. These two are still here, so I'm going to wire the gauges off the ignition, but that's it. Everything else, I'll get the plate up in here. This spaghetti's almost done. This is all for my dash, so it's all temporary. I'm going to go ahead and put this cover on this right here. There we go. Cover my fuses. So anyway, tell you what, we got everything wired in front to back now. I have just a touch of wire underneath the rig, but I'll take care of that on Saturday when I'm finishing the dash. But tell you what, Koo, if you'll pass me the torch there and get the lights. You want to walk with a flashlight? Alright, Koo's a brave man. I'll spot for him. Look at him go. Oh man, there we go. It's like a Sasquatch sighting there. Oh, we got the disco lights on my speaker back there. But anyway, take it back. Alright guys, so the first switch here on the outermost is the front light bar. That is not much of a light bar. But anyway, it is what's on there, so we'll use it. But that all works. All the grounds come back to the dash. I don't have them grounded at the end device. I run double wire. And then my backup light, which I believe is actually probably brighter than the light bar. That's the world's most ridiculous backup light. There's only one of them. Did you, yeah, I got all this tucked in, all the wiring's tucked. Man, it was pinched down through the frame when I started. It's a lot better now. So anyway, that's all clear. I mean, this whole back end's clear now. You can throw stuff in and out. Shouldn't be any issues. But anyway, the coolest part about all this is, so if you flip this switch up and then engage that, that's a front locker. And then once it locks, we have our indicator light. Had a little red indicator light. I've been really nervous to get into this wiring because it looks awful cobbled. And it was. But anyway, when I got into it, when I got into the wiring, I was able to, I managed to dislodge or mess up the little fine wires on the indicator light. There's a little red light over here. So all I have are these green lights. I didn't want that shining right in the kid's face, so I put it on the outside. And this way, when I'm behind him, I can tell, hey, put your locker on. He's not the best about remembering to lock in everything. So anyway, guys, that's what we got done. Locker works, as you can see. Everything's working like it should on everything we've wired in now. So everything's fused, everything's protected. The only thing that won't be fused, I will be running the gauges behind the dash right off the ignition. Now I do have like a little 3-amp fuse. I guess I could put an inline on that, but I gotta figure there's nothing up there big enough to pull, but we'll see. Anyway, check back in, guys. Thank you. Here we are getting that aluminum up here. I'm always worried I'm gonna end up creasing it when I try to do it by myself. This initial intro still. Oh, hey guys, look, we got the aluminum up here. This is my second closing. The first one you just watched in time lapse. Anyway, good times. It's hard to find good help, but he is prompt, so I'm gonna keep him around. Thanks, Q.
Yep.
But look, guys, we're gonna start. Mocking up. I'm gonna do some CAD work starting tomorrow. And computer-aided, not computer-aided design. I do know how to do CAD, but we're gonna do cardboard-aided design. So basically, we're gonna draw out templates to match the panels we want. And we're gonna bring the template over here, sketch around it, cut it just a hair over, buff it smooth on the edge, and then we're gonna do some cool work with textures and paint, clear coat. It's gonna be pretty slick. But anyway, hang out, come back. We're gonna see some cool stuff. I guarantee it's gonna be different than what you've seen. And if you don't watch the videos, you'll never understand why it's called waffles, because all the waffles are getting covered up. Anyway, good times. But yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be different. It's not gonna be perfect. I'll tell you right now, this aluminum work is not gonna be perfect. But that's not really the point. It's kind of a dystopian Mad Max kind of. We're using grade 8 hardware and big washers, and we're bolting this through. It's going to just look aggressive. It's kind of my look, and I don't expect everyone to get it or respect it. I expect you to respect it, put a lot of work into it, so you don't have to mimic it. I understand if it's not your style. So anyway, guys, we'll catch up with you, and we're going to get some more work done. Thanks.